Listen carefully, because most people will never hear the truth I'm about to tell you. You were not born special. You were not born chosen. You were born ordinary, maybe even invisible. But that's exactly why you have the advantage. The world expects nothing from you, which means you can become anything. But here's the brutal reality: if you don't rise, if you don't fight, if you don't build yourself into a weapon, then life will crush you, and the world won't feel sorry for you for even 1 second. This is your moment. This is the point where nobody decides whether he stays weak or becomes alpha. People always complain that life is unfair. Yes, it's unfair, because you sat still while others moved. You made excuses while others built discipline. You relied on motivation while others relied on relentless action. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing. Let me tell you something: harsh waiting is the mindset of the weak. Acting is the mindset of the alpha. You rise from nothing, not because the world helps you, but because pain forces you to evolve. Every setback, every betrayal, every lonely night, these are not curses. They are instructions. The universe is telling you, become tougher, become sharper, become dangerous. Pain is the tuition fee for greatness. Weak men run from it. Alphas use it as fuel. When you're at the bottom, you have two choices. You either whine about where you are, or you stand up and say, I refuse to stay here. People who rise from nothing don't do it quietly. They do it through obsession, through discipline, through sacrifice. While others sleep, you work. While others doubt, you focus. While others break, you rebuild. You show the world that a man with nothing is the most unstoppable force alive, because he has nothing to lose and everything to prove. And let's be honest, most people are broken today. Broken by fear, broken by comfort, broken by society telling them to be soft. You must never forget, if you stay weak, life will punish you. If you become alpha, life will obey you. Strength is not just physical. It's mental, emotional, spiritual. It's the ability to dominate your environment, command your future, and refuse to live the same year 100 times. You want respect. Earn it. You want power. Build it. You want freedom. Fight for it. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is handing you success. Nobody is gifting you a throne. You build your throne. You earn your crown. You create your destiny. And if you fail to rise, then accept the truth: you chose to stay broken. Pain is your greatest teacher. But most people spend their entire lives running from it, hiding from it, pretending it doesn't exist. They treat pain like an enemy when in reality, it is the only force honest enough to reveal who you truly are. Pain doesn't lie to you, doesn't flatter you, doesn't sugarcoat the truth. It exposes every weakness you try to ignore, every flaw you try to cover, every excuse you desperately cling to. And the moment you stop viewing pain as punishment and start seeing it as training, your life begins to transform. Because pain is not here to break you, it's here to build you. It's the universe's way of saying, you're meant for more. Prove it. The world celebrates strength, but forgets to mention where strength actually comes from. It's not born from comfort, not built in softness, not created in peace. Strength is forged in the fire of pressure, discomfort, uncertainty, and challenge. When everything in your life goes wrong, when nothing seems to work, when the world feels like it's pushing you down, that's not the end, that's the assignment. Those moments test your character, your will, your identity. They force you to choose: stay weak and complain, or stand up and evolve. Most people miss every moment of pain in your life is offering you power, but only if you have the courage to take it. Pain sharpens you in the same way a blade is sharpened against stone. It grinds you, shapes you, pushes you beyond what you thought you could handle. You think the strong were born strong. No, they were shaped by nights of doubt, days of failure, seasons of suffering. They embraced the discomfort others avoided. They allowed the struggle to sculpt them into something unbreakable. Weak men run from pain because pain demands honesty. Pain demands effort. Pain demands transformation. But strong men face it head on because they know something the weak never understand. Pain is the shortcut to power. Look back at your life for a moment. Every time you grew, every time you learned, every time you leveled up, it wasn't during the easy seasons. Your growth happened in heartbreak, rejection, loss, failure, embarrassment, isolation. Those dark moments forced you to rise, to adapt, to rethink, to rebuild. And yet we still fear pain as if it's here to destroy us. Here is the brutal truth: avoiding pain is what destroys you. Avoiding pain traps you in the same cycle, the same excuses, the same limitations. While the brave confront it, use it, and transcend it, the strongest version of you is hiding inside your hardest moments. Let that sink in. Meaning, the life you want, the power you crave, the confidence you dream about, it's all on the other side of the pain you keep avoiding. And if you don't face it, you automatically choose weakness. Not because you're incapable, but because you refuse to let pain do its job. You can't expect transformation while protecting your comfort. You can't demand strength while avoiding struggle. You can't rise from nothing if you run from everything that tries to make you better, that should shake your soul. The man who embraces pain becomes untouchable. Nothing can break you once you learn that pain is not an obstacle. It's an invitation. An invitation to step into your potential, to become someone who commands respect, someone who cannot be shaken by setbacks or intimidated by challenges. Pain makes you efficient, disciplined, focused. It forces you to abandon weakness and grow the muscles of resilience that soft people never develop. The difference between the alpha and everyone else is simple. The alpha understands that pain is the entry fee for greatness. He doesn't negotiate with it. He doesn't complain about it. He walks into it willingly because he knows the secret. Pain creates the man the world cannot ignore. And until you learn to welcome it, you will remain stuck in the same place, hoping for change while avoiding the only force capable of giving it to you. Embrace the pain because it's the only teacher strong enough to turn you into something extraordinary. No one is coming to save you, and the sooner you accept this truth, the faster your life will change. People spend years waiting for support, waiting for luck, waiting for someone to rescue them from the mess they created. But waiting is the most dangerous habit a human can have. Waiting kills ambition, kills discipline, kills potential. The world is not sending a hero to pull you out of your darkness. There is no secret mentor hiding in the shadows, no perfect opportunity preparing itself for you. You are the rescue team. You are the strategy. You are the last line of defense between who you are and who you want to become. And once you realize this, you stop begging life for favors and start taking control. Most people hate hearing this because it removes their excuses. As long as they believe someone will show up one day and fix everything, they feel safe. They can blame everyone except themselves. But the moment they accept responsibility, the world becomes brutally real. That brutal reality is exactly what sets you free. When you finally say, "It's all on me," you unlock a power that the average man never discovers. You no longer wait, you build. You no longer hope, you execute. You no longer complain, you dominate. This is the mindset shift that separates the weak from the powerful. Think about the strongest, most successful, most respected individuals in this world. None of them became great because someone swooped in and saved them. They became great because life pushed them into a corner, and instead of crying for help, they fought their way out. They realized something the rest of the world refuses to accept. Relying on others is the fastest way to stay broke, weak, lost, and forgotten. The moment you depend on someone to fix your life, you lose all leverage. You hand your power away. You give control of your destiny to someone who doesn't even think about you. Your problems are not waiting for someone else to solve them. They are waiting for you to rise. Every challenge in your life, your failures, your financial struggles, your loneliness, your lack of discipline, they're not signs that you're doomed. They're signals that you need to step up. Take a moment and ask yourself, how many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting? How many dreams stayed dreams because you wanted someone to guide you, push you, or validate you? How much time have you wasted hoping someone else would do for you what only you can do for yourself? One of the hardest truths in life is that you must be your own savior. Not because the world is cruel, but because growth requires ownership. If someone else lifts you up, you stay dependent. If you lift yourself up, you become unstoppable. And here's another hook that should hit deep. No one cares about your excuses as much as you do. People have their own battles, their own goals, their own struggles. They are not thinking about your future. They are not planning your success. Your journey is your responsibility. The moment you stop relying on others, something powerful happens. You start trusting yourself. You start building discipline. You start taking risks. You start developing the courage to face life head on. You stop fearing failure because you know you can rebuild. You stop fearing loneliness because you know you can lead yourself. You stop fearing obstacles because you know they were placed in front of you, not to stop you, but to make you stronger. This is how real confidence is built. Not through praise or support, but through self-reliance. The world respects men who carry themselves, men who don't break when things get hard, men who take responsibility, even when it feels impossible. When you understand that no one is coming to save you, you stop living like a victim and start living like a creator. You don't wait for a miracle. You become the miracle. You don't wait for opportunities. You manufacture them. You don't wait for the right moment. You decide that the moment you're in right now is already enough. That defines the alpha mindset. Once you realize you're alone, you become invincible. Because the man who expects nothing from anyone gains everything from himself. You are all you need to rise. You are all you need to succeed. You are all you need to rebuild. The world steps aside for the man who walks like he has no backup, because that man is dangerous, disciplined, and impossible to control. Discipline wins when motivation dies, and that is the truth most people avoid because it exposes how fragile their commitment really is. Anyone can work hard when they feel inspired. Anyone can start strong when the energy is high, but only the discipline continue when the excitement fades. Motivation is temporary, emotional, unpredictable. It comes and goes like a storm, loud for a moment, then gone without warning. But discipline is loyal. Discipline is consistent. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares about who you are becoming. And that's what separates successful men from the crowd, the willingness to act without needing to feel ready. Every time you rely on motivation to push you, you place your future in the hands of something unreliable. Motivation might get you started, but it will never carry you through the days when life hits you, when stress burns you out, when doubt creeps in, when everything inside you wants to quit. Those are the moments that forge champions, leaders, alphas. Those are the days that decide whether you rise or stay broken. And here's the hook you must tattoo inside your mind. The man who still moves without motivation becomes the man nobody can compete with. Think about it. How many people do you know who start something with fire but slowly fade away? They set goals, make plans, take action for a few days, then they disappear. Why? Because their entire system of progress depends on feeling good. They only work when it's exciting. They only chase their goals when they're emotionally charged. They only show up when the world is cheering. But life does not reward the occasional effort. It rewards the constant effort. The world belongs to the man who doesn't negotiate with his mind every morning. The man who wakes up and executes even when he feels nothing. The man who understands that results don't come from intensity, they come from consistency. Discipline is the quiet engine behind every major success story. It's not glamorous, not loud, not dramatic. It's the early mornings when no one sees. It's the late nights when no one applauds. It's the sacrifices that go unnoticed. It's choosing progress over pleasure, growth over comfort, responsibility over excuses. Discipline is the structure you build when your emotions are unreliable. It's the backbone of greatness, the force that keeps you on track when everything inside you wants to drift. Most people never understand. Discipline turns you into the kind of person others fear competing with, because you become predictable to yourself and unpredictable to your rivals. They wait for you to slow down, but you never do. They wait for you to lose focus, but you remain locked in. They assume you're tired, but you show up anyway. Discipline makes you dangerous because it removes the weakness of inconsistency. Look at the people you admire, the ones who dominate their industries, their lives, their worlds. They are not driven by motivation. They are built from discipline. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't depend on emotional highs. And they didn't quit when the spark faded. They outlasted everyone. They understood that the man who keeps showing up day after day wins by default, because eventually the competition collapses under frustration, laziness, or fear. Discipline also gives you something motivation never can: identity. When you act with discipline, you start seeing yourself differently. You stop being someone who tries, and you become someone who does. You stop being someone who wishes, and you become someone who achieves. You stop being someone who doubts, and you become someone who trusts himself. Discipline builds a level of self-respect so high that nothing can shake it. You begin to believe in your own ability to endure, to succeed, to overcome. And that belief becomes the fuel that keeps you moving forward. This is why discipline is stronger than motivation. It creates a version of you that does not depend on emotion. When you understand this, you stop waiting for inspiration and start creating results. You train when you're tired. You work when you're uninspired. You push when you're stressed. You build when you're broken. Because you know the truth, greatness is not created in the moments of excitement. It's created in the moments of discipline. And here is the final hook that defines the alpha mindset. If you want a life others can't even imagine, you must develop a discipline they can't even understand. Motivation might spark the flame, but discipline keeps the fire alive long after the world has gone dark. Obsession separates losers from leaders because average effort will never build an extraordinary life. Most people want success, but they want it casually. They want greatness, but only when it's convenient. They want to rise, but not if it costs their comfort. That's why they stay exactly where they are, stuck, frustrated, invisible. Obsession is the force that breaks that cycle. Obsession is the mindset that transforms desire into domination. When you become obsessed with your goals, your purpose, your mission, you stop behaving like the masses and start operating like a weapon. When a man becomes obsessed, he becomes unstoppable. Obsession means your dreams are no longer just ideas. They become non-negotiable requirements. They become the reason you wake up early, work while others sleep, and push through exhaustion without apology. Obsession strips away distractions because nothing excites you more than becoming the best version of yourself. You don't need external pressure. Your internal fire is enough. You don't need reminders. Your mission screams inside your mind every second of every day. The world cannot understand this level of intensity, but that's exactly why obsessed men rise above it. Look around. Most people settle for the bare minimum. They do just enough to get by, just enough to feel comfortable, just enough to avoid criticism. But leaders, champions, alphas, they do more than enough. They go beyond what's required. They operate on standards the average person can't even comprehend. They are driven by a force deeper than motivation or ambition. They are driven by obsession. If you want to know why obsession is so powerful, it's because it eliminates the biggest enemy of progress, hesitation. When you are obsessed, you don't think twice. You move. You execute. You attack the day. You don't wait for the right moment. You create it. Obsession also builds resilience in a way nothing else can. When you want something casually, the first setback destroys you. The first rejection demotivates you. The first challenge overwhelms you. But when you're obsessed, these things don't break you. They sharpen you. You become more focused, more aggressive, more committed. Failure becomes fuel. Rejection becomes redirection. Obstacles become opportunities to prove how badly you want it. The world tries to slow you down, but your obsession refuses to let you stop. Most people don't realize your obsession is your competitive advantage. While others are distracted, you're locked in. While others are confused, you're clear. While others are tired, you're persistent. While others are scared, you're driven. Obsession makes you the man who outworks, outthinks, and outlasts everyone around you. You don't need to be the smartest or the strongest. Your obsession becomes the engine that outperforms their talent. Obsession also changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes to succeed and start seeing yourself as someone built to succeed. You walk differently, speak differently, think differently. You stop scrolling and start studying. You stop wasting time and start investing it. You stop making excuses and start making progress. Obsessed men are not normal men. They are men who refuse to let life happen to them. They make life happen. They bend reality to fit their vision. They don't chase success, they hunt it. But here's the brutal truth. Obsession demands sacrifice. You cannot be obsessed with your future while being loyal to the habits of your past. You cannot be obsessed with greatness while indulging in mediocrity. You cannot be obsessed with becoming alpha while surrounding yourself with weak minds. Obsession forces you to give up comfort, pleasure, and distractions. It forces you to build discipline, boundaries, focus, and ambition. And every sacrifice becomes worth it the moment you start seeing results that ordinary men will never experience. Obsessed men win because they don't give themselves another option. They don't allow plan B to exist. They don't allow doubt to breathe. They don't allow failure to become final. Their obsession becomes their oxygen, something they cannot live without. And here is the ultimate hook the world bows to the man who is obsessed because he becomes too consistent to lose, too focused to fail, and too committed to be stopped. If you truly want to rise from nothing and become the alpha of your own life, obsession is not optional. It's essential. It is the force that turns dreams into destiny, effort into excellence, and men into legends. Your environment is either building you or breaking you, and most people never realize how deeply their surroundings shape their destiny. You can have ambition, discipline, and desire. But if you surround yourself with weak minds, weak habits, and weak energy, your potential will suffocate. Environment is not just where you live, it's what you allow around you. It's the conversations you tolerate, the people you trust, the habits you engage in, the standards you accept, and the mindset you interact with daily. And here's the hook most people ignore. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. If you spend your time around people who complain, you'll start complaining. If you live among people with no vision, yours will slowly fade. If you surround yourself with individuals who are comfortable with mediocrity, your greatness will shrink until it fits their expectations. It's impossible to stay hungry for success when you're surrounded by people who are satisfied with being average. The human mind is contagious. Energy spreads. Mindsets transfer. You become a reflection of what you consistently expose yourself to. And that's why the most successful individuals in the world are ruthless about who they allow into their lives. Environment shapes behavior more aggressively than motivation ever will. You can be inspired for a few hours, but the people around you will influence your actions every day. That's why you must be selective, intentional, and unapologetic about your surroundings. A weak environment will blind you to opportunities, drown your ambition, and convince you that your dreams are unrealistic. A strong environment will challenge you, pressure you, sharpen you, and force you to grow. Think about that. Some environments make you stagnant, others make you unstoppable. And the difference is not subtle, it's life-changing. When you place yourself around individuals who are disciplined, driven, and ambitious, your standards naturally rise. You start adapting their mindset, their hunger, their expectations. You start thinking bigger, acting smarter, and pushing harder. Being around high-level individuals forces you to evolve because you can feel the difference between who you are and who you need to become. Iron sharpens iron, but only if you stand close enough to feel the sparks. And here's another hook. You cannot become alpha in a room full of people who are afraid of their own potential. Most people fail not because they lack talent or ability, but because they lack the environment that brings their potential to life. They remain stuck in circles that celebrate comfort instead of growth. Circles that encourage excuses instead of discipline. Circles that reward laziness instead of ambition. And slowly, without even noticing, their identity weakens. Their belief in themselves fades. Their vision blurs. You cannot grow in soil that was never designed to nurture your evolution. This is why you must be willing to walk away from any environment that limits you, no matter how familiar or comfortable it feels. Growth and comfort never live in the same place. If your environment doesn't challenge you, it's killing you. If it doesn't push you, it's holding you. If it doesn't sharpen you, it's dulling you. And staying in the wrong environment long enough will turn even the strongest mind into a shadow of what it could have been. But here's the powerful flip side. When you deliberately create an environment of excellence, your entire life transforms. When you surround yourself with people who aim higher, you aim higher. When you engage in habits that build discipline, you grow stronger. When you consume knowledge instead of noise, your mind expands. When you remove distractions and replace them with purpose, your results multiply. A strong environment is not luck, it's a choice. A decision to build a world around you that reflects the world you want to reach, that defines elite growth. Your environment is the silent architect of your destiny. Every day it is shaping you, molding you, influencing you. The question is whether it is shaping you into the man you want to become or the man you promised yourself you would never be. Once you understand this, you stop accepting environments that drain you and start building environments that elevate you. Because the alpha is not just born from ambition. He is built by the environment he refuses to compromise on. Every day you are faced with a choice so powerful that it silently shapes your entire future. Rise or stay broken. Most people pretend they don't have this choice because accepting it means admitting that their life is a reflection of their own decisions. But the truth is brutal and simple. You are exactly where you are because of the choices you've made. If you stay where you are, that is also a choice. People love to blame circumstances, bad luck, timing, society, anything except themselves. But life doesn't care about excuses. Life only responds to action, discipline, and conviction. The man who rises is the man who decides he's done accepting the weak version of himself. Every morning, life gives you two paths. One that demands effort, sacrifice, and discipline, and one that demands nothing but leaves you empty. The first path builds strength. The second path builds regret. Rising means stepping into discomfort, pushing your limits, confronting your fears, and doing what most people avoid. Staying broken means choosing the comfort that destroys you slowly. And here's another hook: comfort is the cage that keeps broken men trapped forever. Once you start choosing comfort over growth, your future becomes predictable, small, weak, stagnant. To rise, you must understand something powerful. No one is born alpha. Every strong, confident, disciplined man you admire was shaped by choices, not talent. He chose to rise when it was difficult. He chose to rise when he had no support. He chose to rise when his emotions pulled him down. He chose to rise when everyone else quit. That's what creates greatness, not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to stay broken by it. Weak men wait for the right time. Strong men create the right time through action. Weak men hope things will change. Strong men change themselves first. Staying broken doesn't always look dramatic. It's subtle. It starts with small compromises, skipping responsibilities, avoiding effort, letting emotions control you, surrounding yourself with weak influences, lying to yourself about your potential. Each small decision chips away at your strength until one day you realize you've become a passenger in your own life. And by then, climbing out feels impossible. But here's the truth you need to hear. It is not your past that keeps you broken. It is your refusal to rise from it. You rise by taking ownership. You rise by refusing to be defined by old versions of yourself. You rise by acting even when you feel unprepared. Rising is not about perfection. Rising is about direction. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration: I will not stay who I was. Every moment of discipline is a vote for the man you want to become. Every time you say no to weakness, you strengthen your identity. And identity is what shapes destiny. The reason rising feels difficult is because growth demands sacrifice. You must abandon the habits that made you weak. You must distance yourself from the environments that kept you small. You must let go of the mindset that justified your limitations. Rising requires the courage to disappoint people who benefit from your weakness. It requires the strength to bet on yourself even when no one else will. But every sacrifice brings you closer to the life you secretly know you deserve. Yet, here's the most critical hook of all: the pain of rising lasts for a moment, but the pain of staying broken lasts forever. Regret does not fade. Lost potential does not heal. A life lived below your abilities becomes a weight you carry until your final breath. But rising, choosing strength over ease, builds a legacy, a presence, a life filled with pride instead of shame. In the end, life will not ask why you remained broken. It will simply give you the consequences. And it will not ask how hard it was to rise. It will reward you for doing it anyway. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is not luck, timing, or talent. It is the choices you make daily. Rise from nothing or stay broken forever. Those are the only two paths. And no matter what you choose, remember this: you always live with the consequences, but you also always have the power. So here's the final choice, the one moment that separates men from boys. Either you rise from nothing and become the alpha you were meant to be, or you stay exactly where you are, blaming everything and everyone while your life fades into regret. Stand up. Stop lying to yourself. Use your pain, your past, your failures as ammunition. Because the world bows to the strong, and it forgets the weak. This is your warning, your wake-up call, your turning point. Rise now, or stay broken forever. The choice has always been yours.